my first question is we would like to talk about your journey. Like, how did you join iGaming and what keeps you excited about it?
So it's been 8 years in the iGaming industry that I've been working as an art director. And I before that I was in the casual mobile gaming sector for around 7 odd years. And I've worked with startups. I've worked with brands like Paytm and Aristocrat. And yeah, I mean, I think I have been primarily with the mobile gaming space, and I got an opportunity in Aristocrat where the iGaming or slots gaming was flourishing 8 years back. So I ventured, I unlearned a lot. I learned a lot about slots art development. It's a very niche genre. It's a very different genre. So I got to learn a lot. I brought a set of knowledge and experience, but then since the development cycle is so different for slots, so yeah, it is an exciting journey. I'm still working in the same domain and understanding different regions, work with Australians in the American market and different regions of the world, and created plenty of slots. Very interesting, a luck-based format, and got to know a lot of brilliant people in that journey. So, yeah, so that's about me.
Mhm.
Okay, so like for example, what type of casual games you were working, as you mentioned?
Before that, I was into side scroller games, runner games, card games, board games like Carom, and puzzle games. That time, when I entered the gaming space, Temple Run, Candy Crush, Angry Birds, they were skyrocketing in the revenue sector in the Google App Store. So India started their own journey into the mobile gaming space. So a lot of startup formed, and I ventured into that direction. So yeah. Teen Patti could be one of my highlight where I worked for the 3D version of Octro Teen Patti, and I was a game artist working there.
So basically, when I started my career in tech in IT about 20 years ago, I think, yeah, I started with mobile games as well. So I started working for Gameloft, and my initial scope or my initial field was in quality assurance, and basically that led me to have a deeper passion about how things work, how things to look at projects and games from different perspectives, and it was a natural evolution from testing mobile games. Then I tested some other products, ventured in automotive for a bit, and then ended up in gaming, but initially for sportsbook. And after some while in sportsbook, I don't know. It was like a natural migration towards slot games, towards developing games. So, with my background in quality assurance, also testing, but also managing some of the projects, yeah, it was a natural evolution. And because of I had a desire to move closer to the start of the project. So that's what led me to have roles as a PM, as a game producer, and then with my knowledge of gaming and passion for gaming on my own time, yeah, to become a game designer as well. And yeah, now studio head for Ingenuity.
Which is your favorite part in your journey?
Difficult to say. For me, I always like when I get closer to the beginning of a project, because that was one of my main drives, let's say, with quality assurance, because you usually come, or that was at least the practice back in my day. QA was also usually done at the end. No one thought of QA from the beginning. I know now there is a lot of shift of moving leftwards, but yeah, project management and design were actually the first to start the project. And yeah, my migration into design and producer roles, I think, were the most exciting for me because I got to move closer to the beginning of a project.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Debashish, what was your favorite part in your journey?
I have been playing games for since my childhood. lucky enough that my parents got a Windows PC that time, Windows 3.1, the big floppy disk. I think you're quite young, probably you would know, but Bogdan knows what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. Yeah.
I am that
So,
old.
yes, yes. So old and wise, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, Prince of Persia on playing on DOS prompt since then. I drew Prince of Persia and the Queen on paintbrush during that time. Since then, I have been associated with playing games. I could never imagine that I would build games. Particularly in the mobile sector. And thankfully, India is a big talent pool. There are a lot of avenues, a lot of rich talent available here. And when Temple Run strike the revenue market, right, India came up. There were a lot of independent developers who wanted to create games. And again, my destiny, luckily, I could transition from animation film production to mobile game production and could never imagine that something I was playing, I will make it. And yeah, happy to contribute to these different businesses, small, big startups associated with brands as big as Paytm and understanding such a big domain in iGaming. And Aristocrat has been a pioneer. So I got to learn a lot. I would say my transition period when I shifted from animation production to mobile game, that was a realization that you were playing games. Now you get an opportunity to create games. So creating that experience is very dear to my heart. I want my player to remember that game, even if it is a one time or a luck base or a strategy base. I always want that my player should remember that game. So I believe in storytelling. Whatever work I do in my games, I try to bring in some thematic essence. So slots is a very, I would say, visually a little limited and not as big as a casual game or the strategy based genres. So it's either one or two screen games. So I try to bring in my thing, my storytelling, the visual essence, and yeah, I would say transitioning from animation production to mobile games development. That was my peak. That was my realization. Oh, great! This is something that I could do. And thankfully, by God's grace, I'm in the same industry for some years. The 18 years it has been. So yeah, happy to be here and contributing.
What was the biggest or the toughest challenges that you and your teams had to go through for making a new game?
This is one of those questions that it's tricky because especially now when working for Ingenuity, because we are a service provider company, we don't develop our own games, we develop for our clients. And this is the biggest challenge, to understand what the client wants, you know. So I know this sounds like a slogan, but we have like a motto that's basically we need to build the right thing and the thing right, you know. So first we need to understand what is the right thing to build for the client, you know, because if you don't understand the requirements for the client, you you can build a proper game with zero bugs, but it will flop. It's not what they want, you know. So it's very important to understand. And every client has their own different ideas, any different feelings, different way of presenting the specification, and a different degree of telling you the specification. So this is the most challenging bit, but it's also one of the thing that is very rewarding, because yeah, you put a lot of effort, and when you nail it, it's nice, you know. The client said, yeah, it's like you read my mind. It's totally what I wanted. And that can come from, I don't know, like a very descriptive GDD, or to just a phrase, yeah, I need a game that looks like this. You know. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we're facing, as opposed to the other companies I worked with when we were building our own products. There it's more, let's say, drawn by the market. So we have like different rules or different ideas on what game to build, and it's very clear because you are in the role of taking those decisions. You know, you get to decide what game and why are you building it. But when you are building something for a client, you are not part of the decision most of the time. Like 99% of the time, you are not part of those decisions. You are part of the onboarding with the client when they said, okay, I want to build this game, you know. But it's challenging to find out what that actually game should feel like. Why do they want that one? What needs do they need to fulfill with that game? So that's very challenging, but I like that bit.
Challenges are always there with each function, from grasping the market, which market is working well, to what kind of games, to what kind of audience we would want to cater, what kind of bandwidth do we have, what kind of budget do we have, what kind of talent we have in our team, and the roadmap planning. So there are many challenges. I would like to streamline to my area of work, which is art direction. I think here in India, a realization of what exactly is our game, what is the product. That understanding takes a while for my team or people whom I work with. So there's a lot of training, a lot of knowledge base sharing, a lot of gameplay sessions that I try to conduct where we discuss the end product that we are building. So understanding of the game is, I would not say a challenge, but something that we need to continuously work upon because market is changing. Suddenly we are building games for a certain region and then we shift to another region. What might work? What are the competitors doing? All of that factors. So keeping my team, my pool of artists and animators and sound designers aware of what is happening in the market, what worked, what might have worked, understanding that aspect, and yeah, understanding the core mechanics of a slot, what will make it exciting, what will bring impact. All of that is what I would say I'm continuously working, and myself that applies to me also. I would also have to keep my learning shoes on and keep seeing what kind of games all the other companies are doing. So I would say the challenge is always keeping up with the trend, understanding, grasping the trend, and trying to build something which is 1 or 2 years sustainable. So yeah, and speaking to my team, the people, the core heart and soul of the business. So that's what I continuously work towards.
Basically, for example, if there is a problem in the making a game, for example, like what is the pipeline to solve it from your point of view?
I think clarity, what is required, like I said, the target audience, understanding the game design document, speaking to the game designer, to what length do we have to go? Is there some innovation expected in that particular slot? Is this mechanic or this game functionality a new IP for that particular organization? Then the full focus is even more. So I think clarity is important. That comes from creative producer, of course, from my side, the game designer, of course, our business leaders, right? So clarity given to my team, how crucial the project, that particular slot is. That is what is important from my side, I would say. And then things are, I mean, it's the ingredient to make a slot. But it is very important. Is the game new? Is the game a replica? Is the game a very big franchise, revenue churning franchise? So that understanding and that realization, and then the team is serious. Then the team knows what to do, how to do. So yeah.
Yeah, I have to concur. So basically, it's very important to have the right environment for the team to flourish. So if you create the proper environment where people can ask the relevant question and they are all in the same group, they basically soak all that information. So I'm a very big fan of having a very flat structure and communication that involves everybody. So I don't want to communicate something to, I don't know, to keep a secret between me and the art director or me and the developer. I have a Teams channel with everybody involved in that game. Everybody receives the same message, the same information. Everybody knows the same details, So that leads to a bigger clarity for everybody. Of course, there is some information overload that might not be relevant to certain people, but that helps a lot to create like a common understanding of the game. So even if the designer, even if the developer is not present in one day, the information is there, everybody sees it, and if someone missed one point, he's accountable for the other. in front of the other colleagues. So everybody has the same information, and that helps with the clarity. And whenever different issues occur, we don't do like those huge email chains or anything. We jump into a call, we solve it there, we pull all the people that we need in order to unblock us right there and then. And that's how we try to remove blockers as soon as possible. So I'm usually involved in removing obstacles and let the team create the game, because they are the one doing the actual game. I'm there to help them support and help them enable to build a proper game.